Spider-Man, you got a new costume. Yeah. Wait up.
You suck.
Hello YouTube, Ultra Maximus back with another video review. Today we're taking a look at another Marvel Legends figure, and it's from the Spider-Man Build-A-Rhino wave. It's the Superior Venom, and this was a character that I needed to build my Rhino figure. I happened across this figure at my local Toys R Us here in Greenwood, Indiana. I was really kind of surprised to see him. They had an entire wave of these figures, which was really, really cool. So this gets me closer to building my Rhino set. I've got 3 more figures to go, and I'll probably end up picking them up in the next few weeks. But he's interesting, to say the least. Let's go ahead and start off with the packaging. So here we have Superior Venom in the package, and if you don't know who this character is, he is Doc Ock. During the whole Superior Spider-Man comic book run, and this is actually when the symbiote comes off of Flash, when he's Agent Venom, and it gets onto Doc Ock, Octavius here, and he becomes the Superior Venom. Now, he was not Superior Venom for very long. In fact, I think it was only a few issues. I can't remember. It's been a while. If you remember, please put a link or comment down in the towel section below. I'd love to hear back from you because it's been a long time since I've read these books. But I do remember that the comic version didn't really look much like this at all. Now, paint-wise, yes, but the comic was very stylized, so he had a very large upper body, almost triangular looking, and then kind of skinny little legs, and then the tendrils coming out. And they're using, I think, the Spider-Man mold for this guy, the pizza-eating Spider-Man, maybe? Yeah, so he's just kind of thin looking. But the paint's right. I mean, they painted it very, very well, which I really do appreciate. But they either needed to come up with, I think, either use the bottom legs of this Spider-Man and maybe the forearms of this Spider-Man, and then use like the Hyperion body mold for the upper half and upper arms, and maybe do some retooling on it to get it to fit, or they should have just done a totally new sculpt. With that being said, it is kind of cool that we get this figure. I think I'm going to have to go back and get the Superior Spider-Man Marvel Legends figure because I never did pick it up to go with this guy because it's definitely cool. And I got this guy for 2 reasons. One reason is I love a symbiote figure, and the other one, I need the Build-A-Figure part. So looking at the package, it's exactly the same of what we're used to getting. We got the Spider-Man logo up there, Marvel Legends, Superior Venom. It's got the Spider-Man logo up there. On this side, we've got a picture of Spider-Man. On this side, we have a picture of Spider-Man. Nothing really going on there. Here is the back of the package. We get this really cool looking image of Superior Venom. Here's a write-up and all the other figures in the wave. So we get this really nice, glossy Superior Venom picture. Definitely digging that. There is the write-up. If you want to pause and read that, you can do so. You get the Build-A-Figure Rhino, and then here are all the other figures in the wave. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the packaging. Let's go ahead and get him out of the box and see what we think. And here we have Superior Venom out of the package, and, you know, for the most part, I like the figure, and I was really surprised when I first saw it. I'm like, I don't really care for this at all, but I needed it to get this bath part here. But, I mean, I've actually really kind of liked the sculpt of it, and the paint's pretty cool. There are a few gripes I've got, and that's really pretty much with the tendrils. And of course, that's just like every other reviewer I think I've seen this on, where these tendrils, once you plug them in, they're very static, because if you look at the ends of them, if I can get it to focus, ta-da! If you look at the ends, they're very specialized, and it's never going to focus on there. I'll show it off on the back of the figure itself. They only plug one way into the figure, which is very unfortunate. I think Hasbro would have been a lot better just to put a round peg on it so that you could mix where these little tendrils went on his back to give different looks would have been a way better design. But other than that, I really do like the figure. I think they did a good job with it, even though it's not like the stylized version that we got in the comic. He's a scrawnier version, but I think that lends it to be a little more creepy, and I appreciate that. Here's, of course, the Bath arm for Rhino. Definitely pretty cool. Cannot wait to complete this guy. He will be my second Bath next to the King Thor, so definitely pretty cool. And of course we got Venom here without the tendrils on, really quick, just to kind of show him off. I like the webbing, the sloppy webbing they've got going on up there. I think that looks really cool. He's got this backpack they've permanently mounted on here, and then this will be a good way to show that off. As you see, each plug is unique and the tendrils go in there. I just wish they would have made those regular circles so that we could have mixed it up and changed the way he looked. I think that would have been really, really cool. But other than that, I mean, the design's pretty neat. I like it. It looks super creepy. So let's go ahead and put in the tendrils. Alright, so here we have Venom with the tendrils on, and yeah, I mean, it's okay looking. I just wish that they were interchangeable. It looks very smooth once you actually get it up and look at the tendrils once they plug in. It looks nice and smooth. I like that, but it just, I don't know, they're kind of wrapped around. The only other thing I would say, if they weren't going to make that interchangeable between the 4 put hinges up here so that you could do something like a ball joint to get some articulation out of it, which it would have been a lot cheaper just to put it as a standard round peg and make them interchangeable. So looking at the detail of the figure, I mean, I really like the paint job. I like the eyes. They look wicked. The gnarled teeth looks nice. The screwed up webbing on the head's very cool. And the tendrils have a lot of nice molded detail. It's just unfortunate that they kind of block the face out. They're so wrapped around his shoulders there. And yeah, I mean, again, I can't say it enough. I wish we could interchange those tendrils out. Looking at the midsection of the figure, I like the Venom spider design. It's a little bit sloppy in places, but for the most part it looks pretty cool. I like the red paint additives on the forearms, very cool, and then the kind of clawed fingers, definitely pretty nice. And then we got the other half of the tendrils, which the back ones I think work a little bit better because they're kind of splayed out away from the figure and don't hide that detail like the upper ones do. And then looking at the legs of the figure, I mean, they're just black versions of the Spider-Man legs. However, we do have some new molding on the feet, which have the little claw toes, which look kind of cool. I like that. I think that's pretty neat. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much Venom. Now, articulation on this figure is pretty much the same as we get with the Spider-Man figures. His head does rotate up and down, looks left and right. And to be honest, that head sculpt is my favorite part about the figure. I love the creepy eyes and the gnarled teeth and the screwed up webbing. I mean, that just looks awesome. Very cool. He's got the same butterfly joints that we get with the other figures. Rotates around. He's got a double jointed elbow. His wrists do bend and swivel. He's got rotation at the hips. He's got a torso articulation, ab crunch, I couldn't think of that word. His legs come out that far, they spin at the top, double jointed knees. He's got the ankle movement and pivot. So yeah, pretty much the same that we get with all the other Spider-Man figures. And the joints on this guy are actually pretty nice. They stand and move really, really well, unlike some of the other figures, like the Carnage figures, kind of loose. And I've got one Spider-Man figure that's a little bit loose, but overall, the joints are really well done on this guy. For comparison, here we have the superior Venom next to my favorite loose-hipped figure, Carnage. Yeah, poor Carnage suffers from super loose hip syndrome. They look pretty good together. I like them side by side. I think they're going to look really nice in the Symbiote collection. And here he is next to everybody's favorite bucktooth symbiote, Toxin. Of course, this is Eddie Brock with Toxin. And I think the Superior Venom looks a lot better than that guy. Here's the Superior Venom next to the pizza-eating Spider-Man, which I'm pretty sure this is the same body molds. And, yeah, looks pretty good next to each other. Just for a little contrast, here he is next to Anti-Venom. And here's the Superior Venom next to the Marvel Legends Spider-Man 3 Venom. And, to be honest, I think the upper body and upper arms of this Venom would have suited this figure better. Like if you took this upper torso and put it onto that lower torso, that would have been a lot more comic book accurate, I think. And finally, here we have the Superior Venom from the character Whence He Came. This is Agent Venom, so the symbiote jumped from this guy to this guy for a few issues, and everything was comic book history. Well, for a couple issues. So is the Superior Venom a figure that you want in your Marvel Legends collection? Well, you know, I'm going to say yes on a couple counts. One, if you like the symbiotes and are collecting all the different kinds of symbiotes, this is definitely one you want for your collection. If you liked the Superior Spider-Man run, then you're going to like this figure, I think, for the most part. Unless you're a hardcore truist, then this just might piss you the hell off. And if you're building the Rhino figure, you're definitely going to need this figure. And if you don't like it, you can always sell it to somebody else, I guess, for, you know, figure fodder to customize or something. I really love the new head sculpt on it. I like how we get a new foot sculpt. The tendrils are okay. I just, like I said many times before, wish they were interchangeable. That is probably my biggest gripe on the figure. I would have liked it to have been more accurate to the show with a bigger upper body, but I can forgive that, especially if they gave us interchangeable tendrils. How many more times can I say that? So it is what it is, and I actually like the figure a lot better than I ever thought I would. So there he is, the Superior Venom from Marvel Legends.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Don't forget to subscribe and share, and as always, look for more videos in the future.